trying to really help each other as humans. It is not often so easy that it looks like. Of course you can always help, but it is a different thing if it actually is useful or not to that person that you are trying to help. We have to understand that we all have our own journeys, and if something works to somebody, it don't always have to work the same way for others. We look at often things in different perspectives, and there are also so many unique things in us and our lives and how we see world. So it makes really hard to truly give certain kind of good advice, direction and help to others meaningfully. It is constant balancing effect between trying to be helpful and useful and respecting the boundaries of everybody's own lives and their own journeys. And of course we have to understand that everybody of us have to go certain things through in our own lives alone, around ourselves. We can't always try to be resolving all problems for others and be for them in every place. Certain things we have to just learn ourselves and go through. There is no other option. You can tell so much about certain kind of experiences, but ultimately the only way to truly understand that experience is to go through on your own that experience. Certain things we can't just pass by. So long time I tried to help each other, my close ones, and I really thought that it was really helpful and useful. I had this my own understanding and a way to go through things that worked for me and that I have discovered after a long time and going through hard experiences. And even if it's one good way to use to go through things and to use your advantage, I had to learn that that is not the only way, and maybe it is a way that works for me, the way I am and to my strengths, unique abilities. And also understand that we as humans, we see things differently and feel things differently. There are just so lot of things to take consideration when you are truly trying to give advices to others. It is more about being present for that other person and listening and giving your own perspective and opinion without trying to force it to others. Give them advices, your own perspective to these things, and then let the others decide if that information is useful and something to take advantage of, integrate in you or not. But not being so forceful, so narrow-minded about things that your way is the only good way, only way. And after all, we all have this limited understanding, and we have all gone through certain different things, and that have affected our own view of life, understanding. So in that sense, you can't always say what is right and good for somebody else. And end of all, we have our own journeys to go and experience, and we all have this inner voice in us. That is our Creator's voice in us, and what is ultimately the only liable voice and direction that you should follow. And ultimately it is about forming the unbreakable bond with ourselves and trusting on that inner voice in us, that inner guidance. And if you are relying too much on others, you are hindering that process. You are learning, teaching to yourself that you have to always seek the answers outside of you, or you need help or something to manage and succeed in life. And truthfully, all those what you need is in you, and that should be always the base point that you start from and go from. So always when I nowadays try to help each other, others, I most of the time encourage them to do what feels right, truly inside of you. Taking every aspect in consideration. Of course, never neglecting those factual world things in your life. But the important thing that is always that you don't lose yourself and being honest to yourself. Always live that way that reflect the true you that you are. If something feels quite forceful, then there is a good chance that it is something that you shouldn't go through or take. But of course, sometimes in our lives we have to do certain things because we can't deny this factual world and our own needs, our own surviving and so on. But it is a kind of very big balancing thing to learn to truly help meaningfully others. To be for them and try to support them, but don't try to control them or force your own things to them. Sometimes they are just not ready to face or understand certain things. We are sometimes in so different places, points in our life, that you can't always give everything to you from others to others, from you to others. You have to take in consideration all the unique aspects in that situation, to who you are helping and what kind of position he or she is, and what is hers or his worldview, and so many things. But trying to learn to balance the feminine and masculine also in this area, being warm and considerative, understanding, caring, but also trying to actually help, being masculine, taking all those things into consideration, giving actual concrete advices, but don't try to force them. It is not easy, but it is possible. But the main message I would say is that you have to be more respectful towards others, and understanding and loving and caring, and understanding that we all are unique individuals having our own journeys, experiences to grow through, and we can't and should not control too much. Take too much space on others' journeys and lives. We can give and help, but there is also those limits, very narrow limits that we can't cross, or either we end up doing more harm or help than actually helping those others. And these things that we also always should take in consideration when being with others and trying to help. I want to thank you again, as always, being with me today. And if you're interested about personal coaching in any kind of area in your life, be free to check out the description box below. But I hope you, as always, love and light. Be willing to believe and fight for, and always moving forward and trusting. Thank you, and hopefully see you next time. Goodbye.